Alvarez here on Points in America.
Thanks, Tyson.
Thank you very much. Good night.
There is Billy Joe Saunders. And Carl, how important is a fighter's mentality when you enter on a huge stage like this?
Listen, the mentality and the mindset is massive in any sport at top level, especially boxing. You have to believe yourself when you get in there, because if you switch off and you're not sure, you can't perform.
Sergio, when you look at Canelo Alvarez, he's been on the stage before. In fact, it's his second fight. In this case, for the new shirt, it's Stay Canelo.
Stay Canelo, and that's exactly what he's going to do. But he's in there with Billy Joe Saunders, who's been to the top. He gets up for challenges like this. A man that's never tasted defeat, an Olympian, a two-division world champion. You can never doubt a fighter like this, a slick sniper like Saunders.
And without further ado, let's go to our tale of the tape for our main event of the evening. It is for the unified super middleweight championship of the world. Both men in their fighting primes. Billy Joe Saunders, 2 inches taller than Canelo, will have a slight reach advantage. Both men looked as fit as could be at yesterday's weigh-in. This, of course, is scheduled for 12 rounds. Here are the unified rules of boxing. No standing 8 count. No 3 knockdown rule. You cannot be saved by the bell in any round, and only the referee can stop the fight. Without further ado, we go into the ring, and the legendary voice of boxing, Mr. Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we would like to honor the 2 main event champions and the host nation with the 3 national anthems. Please welcome first, performing God Save the Queen for the United Kingdom, recording star Leslie. And now, singing the Mexican national anthem, please welcome 17-year-old Grammy nominee, la princesa de la música mexicana, Ángela Aguilar.
Mexicanos al grito de guerra, el acero apresta y el rigor, y retiembla en sus centros la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón, y retiembla en sus centros la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón. Signio patria, tú eres de oliva, de la paz el arcángel divino, que en el cielo tu eterno destino por el dedo de Dios escribió. Mas si osare un extraño enemigo profanar con su planta tu suelo, pienso, patria querida, que el cielo un soldado en cada hijo te dio. Un soldado
And now, ladies and gentlemen, to sing the national anthem for the United States of America, please welcome Grammy-nominated international recording star and Texas native, Jennifer Pena.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets that the bombs bursting in air gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free? And the
Ladies and gentlemen, from the house that Jerry Jones built, AT&T Stadium, the home of the Dallas Cowboys, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Boxing fans, are you ready? So let's get this party started! Coming to the ring from the...
To its peak right now.
Well, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, from AT&T Stadium, Arlington, Texas, USA, serving the Dallas-Fort Worth metropolitan area, Eddie Hearn. For Matchroom Boxing, in association with Canelo Promotions, proudly presents live on DAZN the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the unified super middleweight championship of the world. Sponsored by Hennessy. Never stop, never settle. Air Force Reserve. Tecate. Bet Online. O'Reilly's Auto Parts. Orange Crush and Value. Sanctioned by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation. Chairman Rick Figueroa, Executive Director Brian Francis, Program Manager Greg Alvarez. Also sanctioned by the World Boxing Council, President Mauricio Suleiman. The World Boxing Organization, President Francisco Paco Barcarcel, and the World Boxing Association, President Gilberto Jesus Mendoza, and also recognition by the prestigious Ring Magazine title belt. The three judges at ringside scoring will be Tim Cheatham, Max DeLuca, and Glenn Feldman. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, World Championship veteran referee Mark Holloy. And now, the fighters are in the ring and the officials are ready. So for the sold out 73,000 plus in attendance here at the Cowboy Stadium, AT&T Stadium, and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner with his trainer Mark Tibbs, wearing green and blue. Official weight, 167.8 pounds. His professional record is a perfect one. 30 fights, 30 victories, including 14 wins by knockout. He's a two-time world champion from Hatfield, England, the super middleweight fighting pride of the United Kingdom, the former undefeated middleweight world champion, the reigning, defending, undefeated WBO super middleweight champion of the world, the superb a 5 veces campeón del mundo, Saul Canelo
Clear the ring.
Mr. Saunders, Mr. Alvarez, we've already gone over the rules in the dressing room. I want you to obey my commands at all times. Most importantly, protect yourself at all times. Punches right here and up are going to be good, Saunders. Punches right here and up are going to be good. All that is, touch gloves, choque guantes, buena suerte.
It's somewhat cliche to suggest that Billy Joe Saunders raises his game to the level of his opposition. But he says he does. His trainer Mark Tibbs says he does.
Saunders,
can he raise his game enough to be the first fighter since Floyd Mayweather to beat Canelo Alvarez? We're about to find out.
Not only has Billy Joe Saunders relished being the underdog this week, he's embellished it, saying this would be the biggest upset in 20 years, despite Canelo only being a 5-1 favorite. Saunders has decried this as the modern-day David versus Goliath.
Well, you could go with that because Canelo really is that infuriating. I mean, he's such a big force in the ring. For him to dethrone Canelo, it really would be something ridiculously special.
Let's see if he can do it. Saunders in the green and blue trunks with the yellow gloves. Canelo in the teal.
Saunders with that wide stance, that wide southpaw stance. He has an excellent, lethal left hand. Could turn it into an uppercut. Watch out for the right hooks. Saunders has a lot of weapons at his disposal.
You know, Carl, the biggest question for me is, can Saunders show something other than the jab? 54% of the punches that Saunders lands are jab. That number jumps in the high 60s when he's in the super middleweight. I think he's going to have to show something else beyond the jab to win this fight.
Canelo called this a difficult fight, Sergio, but he thinks he's going to figure BJ out.
No, I was surprised when Eddie Reynoso and Canelo said that we're going to take him out in the 8th, 9th, or 10th. I never heard Canelo use a prediction, but they have so much confidence in the work they put in.
First punch from Canelo is an uppercut. Another jab from Saunders. Carl, how much different do you notice Canelo's style changes when he fights a southpaw?
Well, he's obviously a little bit more cautious. Doesn't want to throw anything because he knows that counter left cross will be coming back to him. Joe Saunders here just out of range, but he's in the danger zone when he backs up here into the corner and against some ropes. He doesn't want to be there.
And you can tell the crowd will roar every time Canelo throws a punch.
That's right, and that will have an influence with the judges. That did look aggressive. Back to Billy Joe up there into the corner and threw that heavy body shot.
Saunders looking really sharp with that right hand. When he got against the ropes, he bumped Canelo off. That was a good veteran move on Saunders' part.
I want to welcome those of you joining us in over 200 countries around the world. Of course, also in the United Kingdom, good morning to you. Billy Joe Saunders trying to pull off the upset here in Arlington, Texas.
Heavy body shot landed by Canelo.
Canelo backed Saunders up there, put him on the ropes almost, and then really loaded up with that big body shot. If you're on the end of that and you're feeling it,
it's hard work.
See those feints that Billy Joe is, he's biting on. He's starting to bite on those foot feints and those hand feints.
Plenty of room for Billy Joe to circle around with his 22-foot ring as he suggested. In fact, he claimed he would go home if he didn't get it, Carl.
Billy Joe needs to be busy with the jab and put shots together because he can't be backed up and soak up power punches from Canelo because you can see the effects instantly. You can tell Billy Joe is worried about what's coming back because Canelo makes a small feint and he gets a reaction instantly from Billy Joe, and that's when the guy knows when he gets hit, it hurts.
And that's exactly what we see with the opponents of Canelo. If it comes to Kovalev or Jacobs, all these fighters are worried about the counters, the explosive counters of Canelo.
Right hand, best punch of the fight. Billy Joe says, come on.
Canelo doubled up on that right hook to the body and the head.
Yeah, these are heavy blows from Canelo. He's putting lots into these shots. Billy Joe saying, these aren't bothering me, I'm okay. And trust me, we can see and hear these shots. They're heavy.
And he makes fighters reluctant to throw their biggest punches. Sergey Kovalev, one of the best right hands in his division. He didn't throw many of them against Canelo because he knew if he did, what was coming back.
That's right, get your opponent scared to throw.
Well, Saunders has done a good job thus far of staying off the ropes, Sergio. You said that would be one of his keys.
Well, that's going to be key, but I want to see some more sneaky left hands. He has a lethal left hand when it comes to the uppercut, and he can turn it into a hook as well. Of course, the jab is key as well. There it is. That's a left hand. You got to get respect from Canelo.
Harold spins.
That well.
idea why fighters shake their head when they get hit big? Like, do you actually believe it when somebody's looking at you saying that didn't hurt?
Absolutely. It's a body language thing. It's, you hit me, it didn't hurt. It's just a natural reaction for a fighter. It's machismo, man. It's
Chris Mannix, how do you have it scored through 3?
I've got it 2 rounds to 1 in favor of Canelo Alvarez. I thought Billy Joe Saunders was the more active fighter in that first round while Canelo was feeling him out. But as you heard Eddie Reynoso say, Canelo is settling into a rhythm here. He's landing his power shots, and Billy Joe Saunders, at least through the first 3 rounds, not throwing a lot of power punches back.
Nice scoring sequence there for Billy Joe Saunders. Carl, what would you like to see him do differently?
More of that. I like to see these combination punches. When he throws, throw 3 or 4 shots, then get back off there. You know, you don't need to sit in range and be on the end of these big shots, because Canelo will be happy to just back him up like that.
Straight right hand, score, Canelo. Now he's throwing more power punches. He's certainly settling in as BJ waves him in.
Saunders needs to double and triple up that jab. Back up, Canelo. Maybe you could get something going with the combination just like that.
That's right. Put the shots together. Get some work. Catch the judge's eyes. Don't just sit there and soak up these big counters. It's good work from Billy. Nice head movement. Coming after that little combination. This is what he needs more of.
Mark Tibbs, BJ Saunders' trainer, said we can't run in this fight. We got to slide and glide, outbox and outfox Canelo.
Saunders has fought only twice since winning the super middleweight title back in 2019. And the reason he got this fight is because Canelo is trying to unify the division. If he wins this, the last man standing will be Caleb Plant. But a long way to go. We're in round 4, scheduled for 12. Just missing with that uppercut. You hear the crowd's reaction.
And that's the punch that Canelo is barely missing. That's the 4th big uppercut that just missed the chin of Billy Joe Saunders.
Straight right hand from Canelo to the body as well.
There's the uppercut, and he nods yes that time.
Mouthpiece almost came flying out of BJ Saunders there.
Mannix asked why fighters shake no. He said yes, you got me there.
I've liked the work from Billy this round, though. He's put more shots together. He's landed more shots. He's been a bit more effective.
This is a good round by BJ Saunders, absolutely.
Canelo's still really in there, though, closing with the power shots. He needs to finish this round strong now. Billy and not get caught with anything silly towards the end of the round.
Set in this fight was his ring IQ. He thinks he's a smarter technician than Canelo in the ring.
He's definitely crafty and clever. I mean, he uses the pivots, he uses angles. He's always
nice left hook from Saunders.
He's always in position to punch. This is what I want to see more from Saunders.
And not only is he scoring more right now, Chris Mannix, but he's fighting with confidence.
He is fighting with confidence. I'm not so sure I'd be fighting with my hands down quite as much, but he is starting to get into a rhythm, especially with that jab. And inside this 22-foot ring, which is the biggest ring that Billy Joe Saunders has ever fought in, he is using that early in this fight.
I actually think BJ Saunders fights better with his hands down. We see him fight with his hands down when he's comfortable. When he hands up, he's a little relentless. He doesn't throw the punches as free.
Good defense there from Billy. He knew that body shot was coming. He was working well behind the jab and putting shots together. He's actually landed on Canelo.
20 seconds to go in this round. It's been a good round for Saunders.
Saunders fighting a little more fluid, more confidence.
But if Canelo is just going to look for big, heavy punches and big shots, that's not going to work for him if Billy is busy.
Have you ever been to Corpus Christi?
Sergio, do you feel the momentum changing, or do you think it's a one-off?
No, I think it's a two-off. I gave Billy Joe Saunders his last 2 rounds, and I think he's feeling it now. This is what you need to see with such a precise puncher like Saunders. He needs to have that swag and that confidence to be firing on all cylinders.
Chris, how do you have it score through 5?
Yeah, I've got it 3 rounds to 2 in favor of Billy Joe Saunders.
Whoa.
I think Saunders did an excellent job over these last 2 rounds of taking the momentum back. You saw the second and third round, Canelo got into a groove. Saunders, with his combination punches, I thought regained some of that momentum, and he has been the more active and, in my opinion, the more accurate puncher these last 2 rounds.
Carl, what say you?
Well, I've got 3-2 to Canelo because I gave Canelo that first round. I thought he landed a real heavy body shot, and for me, that eye-catching shot just nicked it. But it was a close round. Can't argue if it went the other way, but I'm loving the work now from Billy Joe. Just needs to be busier. This is evidently a fight between the power puncher who wants to back the boxer up and just nail him to the body or head. Canelo's looking for the big shot. There you go, the big heavy shot. Nice defense there by Billy Joe Saunders. Billy needs to be busy. He needs to let his hand go.
Swing and a miss by Canelo. You don't see him miss by that much too often. Saunders doing the job defensively, caught him with a quick short hook on the inside.
Good catch and counter by Saunders right there. He needs to be busier, Carl, but with the jab, smart jab, just like that.
Smart jab, yeah. Don't get too confident, but I don't want to speak too soon, but this is good work from Billy Joe Saunders.
This is great work by
He's
Saunders.
relaxed. You know, so he's relaxed. He said to himself, when his arms come down low a little bit, he looks dangerous, but that's when he's in his rhythm.
Carl, the path to victory for BJ Saunders seemed extremely slim coming into this fight, but this appeared to be the blueprint if he was to pull it off.
That's right, he's doing exactly what he needs to do if he is to get the victory here tonight. He needs to be busy with the combination punches. I mean, he's not being that busy because he's not being put under relentless pressure from Canelo. He's been clever with his feet. He's putting the ring off Canelo, but he's not under major pressure. Billy Joe Saunders can relax until them big shots come. I mean, that was a right hook.
Right around the guard, too. Landed on the chin. Saunders shook it off. Sticks his tongue out right now. That's a Tyson Fury move.
Well, this is the mind games. You see at the start of the round, his arms up, playing to the crowd.
But that's what Canelo does to opponents. He makes you keep your punches holstered. You don't want to punch against Canelo because you know something's going to be returning. Explosive counter puncher Canelo is.
Había hecho un buen inicio Saunders. Bueno, Saunders empieza el séptimo asalto con ritmo. Tiene que meter ese ritmo ahí. Tiene que hacer este tipo de cosas porque si no, yo como... Cuidado ahí. Vamos.
Que Saunders es un boxeador que se le podría atragantar a Canelo, estaba claro. Y que está cerca de su mejor versión, también, afortunadamente para él y desafortunadamente para Canelo, al que le quedan unos asaltos los que se tiene que imponer para poder conseguir la victoria por puntos, que es algo probable, ¿no? Al menos que llegue algún impacto muy claro, seguramente por parte de Canelo, que es el hombre que posee la mayor pegada.
Sí, en potencia y sí, Canelo sacando golpes fuertes, golpes muy duros. La pelea, como decimos, ahí otra vez intenta, otra vez, qué sensación de fuerza cuando tira esos golpes Canelo. Se tiene que mover un poco Billy Joe Saunders, porque cuando se mueve un poco, le llavea y dobla un poco, ahí sí que le pone un poquito en dificultades. Pero si se le queda un poquito parado, ahí ya tiene más problemas, porque los golpes que tira ahí Canelo son muy fuertes, muy duros, y poco a poco van haciendo mella, obviamente.
Sí, lo que pasa es que esos golpes, muchos de ellos son bloqueados con los brazos por parte de Billy Joe Saunders. No tienen el efecto deseado.
Pero recuerda lo de que decía de Callum Smith, eso de que luego los brazos al final...
No, sí, por supuesto.
Te duelen.
Pero me refiero que no tienen el efecto inmediato.
No, yo hablo más de los al
y
cuerpo.
De cara a los jueces tampoco. Porque no son golpes que entren en la zona reglamentaria, dado que son bloqueados por los brazos de Billy Joe Saunders. Combate incómodo para Canelo.
Bueno, pero
incómodo para cualquiera.
Eso es, que yo sé que para mí es lo que yo esperaba. O sea,
sí.
O sea, cuando hablamos un poco de la versión, es que claro, si es que si no viene la versión Billy Joe Saunders, no viene en versión top, pues es una pelea pasión militar, casi como la que fue con Callum Smith. Ahora está ahí bien, ahí el contragolpe de Canelo, ahí ha evitado con esa finta, la derecha del mexicano. En ese duelo absolutamente de inteligencia, saber quién es el que comete un error. Canelo, que obviamente sigue trabajando muy bien a veces, y las fintas, y haciéndole también fallar a veces a Billy Joe Saunders, con lo cual, bueno, pues obliga al británico también a intentar ser más preciso.
El boxeador inglés, la verdad es que va de menos a más, está mucho más suelto, tiene la distancia muy bien tomada. Le está sabiendo frenar a Canelo y además bloquear los potentes y habituales golpes del mexicano.
Ambiente extraordinario, la pelea igualada, que es lo que nos gusta, y con incertidumbre, que era lo esperado. Las apuestas favorecen claramente, pero tampoco es una locura, no eran 5-1 o por ahí estaban.
Sí, 5-1 estaban más o menos
favorables al mexicano. Y el combate, pues vamos a ver, porque queda un universo. Vamos a ver también el componente físico, a ver si también Billy Joe Saunders decide también poner una marcha más, o así cree que puede solventar el problema de Canelo.
Yo creo que la marcha características ahora mismo con Billy Joe Saunders, que ha cogido el punto idóneo. Yo creo que un combate con Canelo buscando la manera de llegar con una mano es un combate favorable a Saunders, porque está trabajando algo más el púgil inglés, y luego vemos que esos golpes no llegan.
Bueno,
aquí, vamos, no se aprecia que lleguen.
Impacta en cuerpo, lo que pasa
sí,
que
es... en el cuerpo o los brazos.
Eso es,
luego no vemos a Billy Joe Saunders, claro, la imagen no se muestra exactamente el lugar del impacto. Y ahí vemos que Carl Froch, por ejemplo, tiene a Canelo
2 puntos por arriba.
2 puntos por arriba.
Buena derecha ahora de Canelo. Ahora bien Canelo, se tiene que agarrar ahí, coge un poquito de airecillo. Fíjate cómo se agarra Billy Joe Saunders, porque yo creo que ha sentido ese golpe que le ha tirado al cuerpo. No sé si está abierto Billy Joe Saunders, ¿eh?
Sí.
Uy, a la izquierda que le ha tirado ahí.
Sí, eso me ha dolido a mí, ¿eh?
Sí, sobre bueno, Canelo ya.
Huele la sangre, ¿no?
Sí. Ahí le ha tirado la izquierda potentísima, y está, yo no sé, porque tiene el ojo a la virulé, ¿eh? Sí. Lo ha sentido Billy Joe Saunders. Canelo que está animando ahí a las masas porque está haciendo un auténtico trabajo de demolición. Billy Joe Saunders lo niega con la cabeza, pero Canelo está exultante ante este poder que está mostrando en este octavo round. Menos mal que ahí ha tenido la suficiente lucidez Billy Joe Saunders para hacer esa esquiva, porque el golpe que le tiraba era letal. Canelo en un octavo asalto tremendamente duro por parte del mexicano, otra vez que se tiene que agacharse y agarrarse para pasar este mal trago. El público que no quiere eso, evidentemente, pero como decimos muchas veces, que agarrarse no es de cobardes, hay que intentar pasar el mal trago. Otra buena derecha recta de las que le entran a los zurdos, dura por parte de Canelo, que está ahora mismo golpeando. ¡Uy! La izquierda, como le ha cogido ahí a Billy Joe Saunders, que está pasando el peor momento de todo el combate, con este Canelo absolutamente destructor en este asalto. Y va como muy dolido como si tuviera hundido.
Sí, el ojo lo tiene a la funerala tumefacto, inflamado. Yo no sé si podrá perder visibilidad. Lo que pasa que luego aparte le ha metido. Ahora sí que han entrado las manos. El peor asalto.
Es que es que yo creo que está muy dañado, como si fuera.
Puede ser una fractura del hueso orbital o algo por el estilo.
Eso es. Terrible Canelo. Victoria espectacular para Saúl el Canelo Álvarez, que ha destruido.
It is stopped in the corner. It'll go down as a TKO win for Saúl Canelo Álvarez.
Acting on the advice of Saunders' corner, the referee calls a halt to the contest at the end of round 8. The winner by TKO victory, and now the unified super middleweight champion of the world, de Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, Saúl Canelo
He is the winner by TKO. They stopped it at the end of the round. Billy Joe Saunders' corner apparently basically throwing in the towel. Nevertheless, a KO win for Canelo, just as he and his trainer, Eddie Reynoso, predicted. What kind of reaction will Billy Joe get back in England, Carl?
Well, like I said, you have to take into account the fact that this guy doesn't pull out of fights. He's never lost. He's never shown any kind of quit in him for his whole career, amateur or professional.
Let's see that stinging right uppercut there.
Yeah, that was the side of the glove, right into the eye. And that was the one that did the damage. That was a hurtful punch. You see Billy there wincing almost straight away, closing that eye.
Yeah, immediately it's swelled up. Let's see, as he walked to the corner, what went down.
Well, he'll be sitting in his corner thinking, I want to know what this eye looks like. So he'll get some advice off his cornerman. And then he'll be speaking back to him and just telling him, listen, my eye, I can't see. I can't see it, or I'm in horrific pain. So you can worry about your vision, and your eyes are important, believe it or not. So I'm hoping that he's done that just for his safety. There really is a problem there, because I'd hate to think that he gets accused of quitting.
I wouldn't go as far as to call it a quitting. It was just another gear that was lacking. And like you said, we don't know exactly how he feels or what's wrong with his eye. The eye is very dangerous, but we saw it in an earlier fight with an uppercut to the eye, and those are brutal shots. I mean, they're stinging shots.
Let's hear now from the winner, Chris Mannix with Canelo Álvarez.
Canelo, congratulations. You've got more hardware now than you can hold on to. You knew coming in this was going to be a difficult fight. How difficult was it?
La verdad, como lo dije, ¿no? La pelea se iba a empezar a desarrollar después del 8, del 7, y así fue, pero no fue tan difícil. Y es donde me doy cuenta que mis preparaciones y que sigo mejorando día a día.
Well, as I said beforehand, the fight was going to develop. By the 7th, 8th round, it was going to develop, and that's what happened. But it's not as difficult as I expected, and that's where I take notice that my preparation is good and that I improve day by day.
Did you feel like Billy Joe Saunders in those middle rounds was winning any of them?
No. La verdad es que los iba ganando round con round. La verdad es que, como lo dije antes, mi pelea iba a empezar después de sexto, séptimo, pero me fui acomodando muy rápido, ¿no? Sabía que esto se iba a dar.
No, not at all. The fight, as I said, I was winning round by round. The truth is, as I told you, my fight would develop after 6th or 7th round. But, I started getting adjusted really quick. I knew that this was going to be the final outcome.
You get to that last round. What was your reaction when Billy Joe Saunders did not leave the corner?
La verdad es que lo sabía. Creo que le quebré el pómulo y sabía que ya no iba a salir. De hecho, llegué a la esquina y le dije a Eddie, ya no va a salir a pelear porque le quebré el pómulo, y así fue.
I knew it. The truth is, I knew it. I think I broke his cheek, and I knew he wasn't going to come out. And I get to the corner, and I told Eddie he's not coming out. He's not coming out to fight because I broke his cheek, and that was it.
You have always had interesting game plans coming into fights. What was the game plan coming into this one?
Aquí está Eddie, aquí está el mejor entrenador, que es el que me dice, yo solo me preparo y tú me dices, haz esto y yo lo hago.
I have the best trainer. Here's Eddie. This is the best trainer that I can have. He's the one who tells me. I just prepare, and he tells me, do this, and I do it.
You have the best trainer. As you acknowledge the crowd, you have the best trainer, you are the best fighter, and now you have 3 pieces of the 168-pound title. There's one more to go. Is Caleb Plant who you want next?
That's the plan. That's the plan, to go for the belt, and I'm coming, man. I'm coming, my friend.
Do you think you can do you think that fight can be made?
I hope so. I hope that fight made easy, and then give the fans that fight and the first Mexican unified fighter in the history.
You've accomplished a lot in your career. Tonight, more than 70,000 people, an indoor record in the U.S., came here for you. What does that mean to you?
Hey. Es algo muy difícil de explicar, el sentimiento que siento por la gente, el apoyo que me da, es la motivación para seguir mejorando. Esto es por ustedes. Es muy difícil explicar el sentimiento que siento, pero solamente quiero decirle que muchas gracias a todos, de corazón, muchas gracias.
It's something very difficult to explain. I don't have words. The emotions that I feel for all the people that have come out, and the love that they give me, the motivation that they give me to continue on. It's very difficult to explain the emotions that I feel in the moment. But I want to thank everyone. I want to thank everyone for coming out from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Congratulations, Canelo, and we'll see you in September.
See you, my friend. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Gracias a todos. ¡Viva México, cabrones!
Well, that's how you celebrate Cinco de Mayo weekend.
Absolutely. Viva Mexico, mofos.
Well, we are here with the man who can make the fight happen that Canelo wants. Eddie, you heard Canelo say, I want to be the unified super middleweight champion. Can you make that Caleb Plant fight happen?
It's the only fight. Firstly, I want to thank everyone here tonight for coming out and breaking the record. It's been incredible. Thank you to Jerry Jones and all the team at the AT&T Stadium. It's the only fight, Chris. And hopefully Caleb Plant feels the same way. I know you saw an interview the other day, didn't mention too much about Canelo, but listen, if we want to keep the great times coming in boxing, it's the first Mexican undisputed champion at 168 pounds. It's the one to make in September.
Billy Joe Saunders is a warrior. You're his promoter. What do you make of him not coming out of the corner?
No, he couldn't see. I spoke to Mark Tibbs. He said he couldn't see and he wouldn't let him go out. I thought Billy boxed beautifully, but Canelo's so strong. He took his time. Billy's so tricky, but he busted his eye socket, and then as you can see now, going back now, you can see his eye, and Canelo coming on strong in the back end of the fight. Too good. But it was a great performance from Billy Joe Saunders. He came to win.
You know how difficult big fights are to make. How confident are you that you can make Canelo Caleb Plant, and what's your first phone call on Monday?
Well, listen, ultimately, Canelo Alvarez will fight absolutely anybody. You know who he wants to fight. He's told me who he wants to fight. Caleb Plant. It's over to Caleb Plant. We'll speak to their team, Wherever that has to take place, that's the fight that must happen for boxing, the undisputed championship at 168 pounds. And it's the must-make fight next. What's Caleb Plant going to do? Not being funny. Look at this. Look at this. This is a pound-for-pound star, and, you know, him and AJ, the two big stars in the sport. And we've got a good bit of news coming for you next week as well.
He hasn't had to say this to you yet, but who's next? It's Caleb Plant. Guys?
Thank you, Chris. I know a lot of people watching at home wondered what the scorecard that fight was stopped. I've got him right here. Glenn Feldman had it 78-74 for Canelo. And had it 78-74 for Canelo. Tim Cheatham, 77-75 Canelo, and Max DeLuca also for Canelo, 78-74. So two judges gave 2 rounds to BJ Saunders, Sergio, and one gave him 3.
I think Billy Joe Saunders deserves a little bit more credit. It was a close fight. It was an entertaining fight. But we saw what happened here. This is the power that Canelo carries in those fists, and Saunders just couldn't take it. I mean, I don't go as far as to say that Saunders quit, because he was in the fight. He retired. That's the word. He retired in the stool because he couldn't continue, and we don't know what the injuries are in his eye.
Well, let's jump back into the highlights from this fight. It was probably a little more entertaining than most people thought it would be.
I thought it was entertaining because this is the fight. This is Billy Joe Saunders' MO as a southpaw, to use his angles, to use his pivots. But Canelo was just landing some solid shots, and those body shots.